That's what we don't have. Green, green. Okay, now I think we are cooking with gas. Yes? No? Or maybe. I am going to take this mask off in a half a minute. We got 5 people on. Let's just hang for a half a second and see what's going on. We're here at the boat, baby. You want to see the other side, other view? My other side? Okay, there you go. We got the view. How about you, man? Anybody give me a little comment? I'm looking at the camera. How about my volume? How are we? It might be a little staticky because I'm really close to the camera. We're good? It is a nice morning, Alan, too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's start with the opening because you know what I think we're going to do is, I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this video. We're going to edit this part out, obviously. And we're going to utilize this video. Good morning, Willard. For a intro onto our channel on YouTube. I think that's the way to go. So, because, you know, you got to switch it up every once in a while. We got a lot of exciting things going on for 2020. And again, thanks for coming aboard. We welcome you. All right, so let's get to business. Our mascots left. We got a pair of mating swans that got a couple of ugly ducklings. And Josephine, bring it on home. And the ugly ducklings, there were 5, and then there were 3, and now there are only 2. They're not here right now. She was hissing at me. All right, here we go. The boat, the SS Wheezy. I hope you guys are ready for this show. This is going to be a good one. I'm all by myself. Skipper T is not in the house. She's on her way to Massachusetts. She should be coming up with a report any minute. Okay, so there she is, the SS Wheezy. Bottom line, she is 26 feet long and 11 feet wide. She has a tumbler on board. We'll come on board and I'll give you the whole scoop on everything. It's a cut-down cabin cruiser. What did it look like at one point? Maybe a little bit like that Grady White over there. Meaning it had a little bit of a cabin and maybe a little thing and whatnot. Well, they cut all that shit off and then they fiberglassed it down in 1972. When we purchased it, it was a center console with the steering and the helm and what was right in the middle. And then there was a little bench which housed the gas tanks, which we moved. So there she is on this side. That's a landing side. We have the davit. She's in her full glory right now. She's got her shade canopy set up. We might even do a little processing of some oysters here today for you guys if you would like. We'll see what time allots. A year ago, we had just got a new motor for this thing and was putting it into the drink and doing our thing. She's awesome. She's has really been a great asset to the Happy Oyster Company as well as a workhorse. She is a workhorse, just like my mother. That's why we named her the SS Wheezy. All right, so here we go. Let's go on down and check it out. We are doing a little testing work with Southampton Town Trustees and Cornell Cooperative. That's what these guys here are on the side here, and we'll go on that. We'll go over what's going on inside of these guys. Some pretty exciting stuff. So this is the side of the one side. There's a lot of place for signage, sponsorship. Hint, hint. We also maybe been thinking about some other things. You can see what is made out of steel on the boat. This is 1 year. Dune roaditis at its best. Got to get after that a little bit when I get a chance. We have an oar on board in case we lose power. We can always oar ourselves out of trouble. Always got to have an oar. We have all of the safety equipment on board. We do have a light, front and rear lights, port and starboard. Here she is on this side. Am I going too fast? Landing side, homemade davit. We'll get into that in a second. All right, so let's see if we set that up about like that. And that? How we doing? Good? Everybody good? Everybody good, good, good? All right. That should work pretty good, I think. Maybe I should turn it around so that way we're looking at me. I can get rid of this thing. We are now on board. Hey, just a quickie for you guys. Warriors, Freddie is doing good. We still got him in quarantine. We keep him under lock and key because of the fact that we don't want him getting sick. And he's got a mother that's 95 years old as well. I need a new hat. Father's Day's tomorrow. Wow, I'm really looking like the Beverly Hillbillies over here. So yeah, Fast Freddy's doing his thing. He's good. He's good. He's got a lot of projects going on as well. He's keeping himself busy. He's got some really cool stuff going on as well. Just wanted to quickly show you my shirt real quick. This is a Standing Proud shirt from 1995, the wildfires. This is when I first got in the fire department. I only bring this shirt out at about this time of the year. So you actually got to see it. You can see how nice and good condition it is. So I really don't want to get it all gooked up. I'll be right back. Had to get my coffee. All right, back at you. So where do I begin? 26 feet, 11 feet wide. We are powered, when we originally purchased the boat, it was powered with a 250 Mercury. 250 Mercury sounded great. What's happening? Yeah, I hear that. Parasol, I like that. Instead of umbrella, I'm going to use that word from now on, parasol. So here she is. This is a Mercury 250. We purchased this used. Shit. Get up here a little bit. I don't want to put my camera over the drink because I'm afraid that the thing will pop off. So there she is, Optimax 115. It works, it goes. It's a 2-cycle engine, which means there has to be gas and oil is mixed in together. There's an oil compartment on the top. That's that big gray thing right in the center. I'm having problems seeing, but I think I'm pointing it in the right direction. And you put oil in that, and the oil and the gas mix. Where does the gas go? Okay, that's a good question. Gas goes into these two guys here. We have 2 tanks. They pipe down, and the gas tanks are underneath this landing table. And I can get to them shut-offs down underneath here. Whoop. Orientation's screwy, but you get the thing. All right? All right, so landing, davit, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put this here. Maybe like that. Oh, you know what? I could do it like this, maybe. I don't know. And put this back like that. That isn't too bad, I guess. I wish I had a camera girl, but the camera girl's busy. I like it better the other way. I gotta remember that you guys can hear me. Alright, maybe if I get back in here a little bit. Get a little shade going. That isn't too bad. Okay. So consequently, what happens is that the cage is coming up on a davit like here. We have a pedal. It's got a little deal on it, and this goes around like that. Okay? Here we go. Remember the old daisy chain? Remember that? There it is, okay? Daisy chain. I just rigged this up for purposes of coming live with you guys and showing you the boat. So obviously this thing is in the drink. We fish that up. We hook it onto there, we hook it onto here, and then we wrap it onto here. Okay, depending upon how many times it depends upon how, usually 2 to 3 times, right? And then you hit this, and it automatically raises this up. And then we can swing it accordingly. We can swing it all the way into the front. We can swing it to here. And then to let it down, you just let off on the tension on here, and it just kind of like lightly goes down. Now it's really nice here in the dock and whatnot, but when the boat's still in this, it's a whole nother ballgame. So now this isn't my job, this is Fred's job. Fred takes care of the winch and all of this business, and I'm the guy doing the heavy lifting and humping and bumping, and I'll move these into here, and then slide that down, unhook, and get ready for the next one. Boom, 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 and it's a process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cages, 3 tiers. There you have it. Year number 2 we are right now. This is going to work fine, and it's a workhorse. But we've already decided for modifications as soon as we can. This has got to get gone. We're going to extend the landing table all the way back. We need a trough to be able to collect. This is a perfect pitch. Perfect. It doesn't, the snails and the crap doesn't slide off, because what you can do is that when you got your whole glove, you just get in there and you give it a big sweep like this, and you herd them all down to here. You put your bucket under here and bloop, right in. Snails are now off the site, okay? When you want to get the snails off, you give it a little shake, they all fall. It's like popcorn, baby. It works awesome. So landing table. We went over disassembly of cages where you unhook and blah, 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 and unbutton them is what we call it. The unbuttoning process I'm not going to go over right now, but the cage can be broken down like we talked about. Top, middle, legs. You can stack the components on top of the tumbler, which we're going to get to next. How we doing? All right? So, let's scoot it over here a little bit. I can't see. I hope that's a good sign. In between something, something, something. Hang on, let me see that. Something about Fred. Ouch. What's he doing? Oh, you want to know? Oh, Alan C. wants to know what Fred is doing in the lockdown. Is Freddie in the house? Anybody else in the house? I'm sorry about the comments, but whatever. I'll get back. Again, I don't have another camera person, so you're going to have to deal with it. So I'm sorry. So I'll deal with the comment. You know what? I will rewatch the show and comment on every single comment and try to answer all of the questions on the comments on the rerun. How's that? Today's show is sponsored by NETMINDER. That's the stuff, the white stuff. We'll go over that in a minute. All right, back at that. We got a lot of stuff to go over today. How are we? Good? Is that a good shot? That's pretty good. Up a little bit, about like that. Maybe. All right, here we go. Land the cages, break the cages down. Cages can get placed up on the top of here if we need to. If you would like to hose them down, okay, here we go. Hosing and water on board the boat. Pretty simple, pretty easy. We have a little control panel over there. Switch it up over here for a second. Real quick. Yep, you can see what I'm talking about. This thing is hooked on the edge of the light. This is our intake. We just unhooked that off our light and let her drip into the mound. Okay, we have 2 washdown pumps as well as a battery. Batteries and washdown pumps are inside of here. You got 2 little switches. You just hit the switch, switch, and switch. This guy here is right now is running. I'm going to turn him off. That should shut down in half a second. I hope. But I gotta get a little air out of the line. There she goes. All right, a little air in the line. So, turn it on. The tumbler might be leaking a little bit, so she might go on and off. I wanted to show you guys the tumbler. I might just turn her off in a minute before we go on to where we're at. Okay, so back at you. So we got a hose that goes off of there, and we can hose down our cage if we need to take a look at stuff here or here. Okay, works really good. Gotta have it. Tumbler. A lot of comments, a lot of views on the tumbler. Fred and I, originally I was going to make it out of plastic, meaning the legs and all of the above. It didn't quite work out that well because it was just too flimsy and too much. So we started making it out of steel. So Fred, we got the welder out and we started the process for the welder, and then we got a sewer pipe. The sewer pipe was one of the most expensive parts of the whole damn thing. We have 1-inch hole here. Now, let's see if we can do this right. Maybe we can turn this around a hair. What if we turn this here? How about if we go boom, boom, turn it around. Good morning, good morning. No. It stays at the slip. It stays in-house all the time. Yeah, we can't afford. I don't have the time for that, and plus I suck at backing up trailers. I'm terrible at that. So, all right, where did my thing go? Sorry, a little miscombobulated. Here we go. Calipers. I was looking for that. So we have 3 holes in our tumbler. Our tumbler has our first hole, which is 1 inch. Our second hole, which is I think 1 1/4. Excuse me, 1 1/2. And then 2 1/8. I know that one. And then out the ass end, which is number 4. So we have 4 different spots. It's just a standard 18-inch sewer pipe. We used a hole saw for these with the drill on high. It seemed to just, and once you got in the groove after it was marked out, it was boom, ba boom, ba boom. It was really easy. It sounds worse. It looks worse than it was, but in about a day, 2 guys, we had it done. Okay? Then we fabricated a fiberglass. I did all the fiberglass work. We built it out of plywood first, thin plywood, and then we fiberglassed the crap out of it. We bought gallons of 5-gallon buckets of fiberglass, and that goes for this as well, and all of this landing table as well was all out of fiberglass. We built it out of plywood first, not marine grade plywood, just exterior standard cheapo plywood, you use in your house, and fiberglass it, and fiberglass the crap out of everything. Yeah, I was a little concerned that this was so heavy, had so much fiberglass, so much steel. I was afraid the boat was going to list like this. It didn't end that way. It lists a little bit that way, believe it or not. So what we do to compensate for that is we know that we're only using 5 gallons of the pop, there and back. All day long, we can't burn more than 5 gallons. It just doesn't happen. So when we come on board, we bring 5 gallons with us, and we always have 5 gallons in the tank. So we have 1 to show and 1 to go, 5 gallons of the pop. That way I'm not making this side of the boat any heavier than it is. Again, it lifts a little bit to this side. We could put a little bit more weight onto this side. We could do some modifications, maybe bump this out a little bit. Again, when we do this modification of extending the table, we can then take care of it. I was blind when I was building it. I didn't know. Fore, aft, we kind of just ballparked it, interpolated. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes, rolled the dice, put it in the drink. May 17th of last year. You can go back on her Instagram and check that out. She's been working like a champ. What is driving the sewer pipe, you ask? Okay, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Let me take off the veil. It's not very sophisticated. It is a Harbor Freight cement mixer that we modified accordingly. I will get into that a little bit more in depth here. Let me turn this around so I can see what the heck is going on. There we go. There is the cement mixer part. Let me put this up. There we go. Here's the cement mixer part, and there is the actual drum that we modified accordingly and cut the bottom out, and then slid the pipe right on through the whole barrel of it. Down here is where the gear is. Again, I can't see a damn thing. But this is the part that turns and turns this. Here's my on and off here. It is hardwired into a plug, which is going to come out of the underneath of the helm here in about 2 seconds, and I shall show you how this works. If you would like to see, would you guys like to see? You don't have a choice. You can tune out if you want. That one, there we go. Can you see what's going on? Back to here. All right. So what else do we have on board? We have a stool, so that we can step up and maybe hook on to whatever it is. We have our toolbox, very, very important. What's in there? You know, various good stuff, vice grips, pliers, screwdrivers, socket set, oil, grease, lubricant, okay? Bada bump, bada bump. And out comes our generator. Generator is the Predator 2000 inverter. This thing is a mint. It's a workhorse, Harbor Freight Special. It is a Honda knockoff, and it works like a champ. Shall we see if she works? Wolfie's in the house. What's that? I didn't hear. What about Tony? I think you can see now a little better. Can you see my? Yeah, whatever. Here we go. Let's see if she starts up for us. Now, I haven't seen this thing in a little bit. This is brand new. I have not staged this at all. You put this part to start here. Make sure the vent is open. And then you just start to pull. Make sure it's off. That would help. All right. And pull. 2. That was really 1.5. Bang. Start right up. Let's let that warm up for a half a second, and then what we're going to do is we'll plug her in and we'll show you how that works. And then we'll maybe even process some oysters. I probably got to take some questions maybe. Landing, tumbler. Let me turn this to run now. You can see how she kind of idles up and then idles back down again. She's running good right now. Nice, smooth, easy, competent. And you put on this other thing here, this power control GC blah blah blah, and that even knocks it down a little bit more even, as you can see, a little lower even. Here is that plug that we were talking about that comes out from underneath there that goes to our cement mixer. Goes into here, right? Bada bump. Now, before you start hitting the button, make sure nothing's gonna catch. I got no buoys, I got nothing. Winchester isn't down the barrel. Winchester likes to go in the barrel. If you don't know who Winchester is, you gotta tune in later on. So now, let's see what happens. You there? There we go. Ready to go. Voila. Works like a champ. We'll throw some oysters through here and check it out. But for now, let's turn her down and we'll just stop for a half a second. I got some other things I want to show you. All right. How long have we been on for? 23 seconds. Okay. All right. What else is on board your boat, Bartels? We talked about the shade. You can see up top there that we have some shade materials up there, some burlap, for when we do put stuff on the landing table, that we can put burlap over it. We have some fish totes on there as well. We have a pusher, we have a scoop, and some other goodies. There's a hatch down here that we've got to talk about. It's a hatch that I very rarely go into, but you know what? If you got to go into it, you got to go into it. And every boat on the planet should have what's inside of that hatch. Would anybody like to guess what's inside of that hatch? That's right. Life preservers are in that hatch. Let's go check it out. There's life preservers all over the boat, as a matter of fact. This happens to be a life preserver as well. This is a throwing life preserver so that you can pitch it to the guy that might need it. You never know. Fall overboard, grab this first, you know. You should have a life preserver on. In the cold and nasty weather, you should have a life preserver on, no matter what. So this makes a nice little kneel pad, but into the hatch we go. I haven't been in here, and thank God it's still, all the stuff is still in here. I'd be pretty pissed off if it wasn't. So here you go. We got life preserver. I got a couple of them in here. Take a good look, because she's dry as a bone in here. That's a good thing. Now, look at what else I got in here. Oh, my goodness. It's still here. Thank goodness. I would be really embarrassed if it wasn't. All right, Mr. DEC requires you to have a bucket on board that is labeled human waste. There it is. On the top is a lid. There is a lid. It is a locking lid. It is a safety lid. It is... I don't want to smell anybody's shit, and we take it home and we dump it. All right, if you gotta go number 2, this is the bucket that we're gonna be using. Okay, what's inside of here? Again, we got, I got ladies on board. I'm gonna be accommodating to the ladies, right? So what do you got? Well, the first thing is you're gonna line this bucket with a plastic bag. That's the first thing you're gonna do. And of course, I'm not gonna make you wipe your butt with your hand. I got a roll of toilet paper. Okay? So again, we are somewhat civilized, okay? And it's a good idea to do the right thing. It doesn't take that much. Human waste, there it is. Do it. All right, let me get that crap back in there. Make sure we covered that, right? All right. What else do we need on board? Okay, we got some throwing anchors underneath here and whatnot. Got some rags, some other goodies, some rope, WD-40. There is a funnel for adding gas. There is a safety, a first aid kit inside of that other compartment, okay? There's a sounding device. There are some flares as well. We need a signaling device. All of these things are required. And that is on board as well. Always be able and get to your anchor. Very important. You never know when you might need to anchor, so you gotta be able to access the anchor immediately. I have a boat hook on board here. Oh, there's a mascot over there. They're hanging now. What else? What else? What else? Is there any questions now that I'm underneath some shade over here? I'll turn this around so maybe we can zoom in on the enemy. No, they're not enemy. They're cute. They can be nasty though. Those swans can be nasty. Let me see if I put my glasses on. Got any questions, anybody? See their little heads? All right. So that's that thumping is the water pump going on and off because we got a little leak going on. All right. So moving on, I guess, right? Oh, yep. Sorry about that. Fire extinguisher, that's also in there. Sorry about that. Absolutely. Gotta have a fire extinguisher. You are correct. All of that crap is inside of there, and it's all tucked away, nice and neat. I'm not going to go into that. Believe me, it's there. I guess we'll pull those cage on board, and we'll kind of show you what's going on with that. What time is it? We got 28 minutes. We're going to go a little over. Is that okay with you guys? Whatever you want to do. 29 minutes. We're on 16 views, 16, 15 people. All right, we'll go on. Why not? Let's see what happens. We'll hump that thing on. I got it off to the side over here. Deep, delete, D. All right. Pull that over to here. Back that up a little bit. Back it up a lot. That looks like a good shot. All right. Oh, I gotta go around and get that. Well, maybe we can get it from here. Sure we can. All right, this cage is one of my very first ever cages I built, approximately 3 years. She's been turned quite a few times. It is a floater. It is a nursery cage. It is designed for little babies. Right now I'm using it for some pretty big stock, but we're stocking it fairly lightly because we're doing some testing of these waters in here. The oysters that are in here were in my creek, actually Freddy's Creek, and they overwintered in Freddy's Creek. We purchased these oysters from Maine. Mook is the name. I really don't want to get too cooked up. I'll put that over there for a second. All right, we're going to switch, all right? Turn you around. I have a hard time seeing. That's not too bad, right? That looks pretty good, actually. All right. We can always bring it in, too, as we get there. All right, so we're going to run these things through the tumbler. That is the name of the game. I had this thing stocked to the hilt because I knew I was coming up with some testing sites, and I wanted to do the testing on these sites with some of my absolute #1 premium grade seed that I have been babying and coddling for the last year and a little bit. It's approaching the size that it should go out into the Peconic, but again, we're testing some different areas, and this happens to be one of the spots that we're testing, this marina area. I also have this exact seed in I have it in our standard creek, #1. I have some in Tiana, #2. I have some in another spot here in Flanders, and this spot in Flanders. So that's a total of 4 spots that we have this seed in conjunction with the Southampton Town Trustees and Cornell Cooperative Extension. The guys that gave me my start. If I can help them, I'm going to do it, because boy, did they help me. Southampton Town Trustees and the Cornell Cooperative Extension have changed my life, and that is no BS. So anything I can do to help, I am all in. So let me show you what's going on here. Now, if you've noticed some of the stuff on our stuff that's coming off of the Peconic, it's golden color. The actual shell is gold. Or I shouldn't use the gold. Maybe you should, because that's Peconic gold. Peconic gold is right around the corner from us. They are that kind of golden color, brown. It's from the iron rust. Maybe there's a different color. I don't like the color of rust, or the sound of that, but it's the iron that's in the water content, I believe, is what's going on. All right, now we had checked this out just the other day. So again, we were testing, and this is one of the last spots that we tested, and we put a tag inside of here so everybody can know, because we're going to come back in a couple of weeks and we're going to check them out. Okay, here you go. There's 14 liters inside of that bad boy, 95 per liter, for a total of 1,300 oysters. If my wife's writing is correct, and it looks like there's 14. It looks like about 14 liters in here. Very scientific, I'll have you know. I thought I just saw a dead one. I was gonna make a joke. Okay, oyster habitat is crazy. We got little baby fish in here. Go away. See you later. Bye. And all kinds of good stuff. All right, let's dump this. Yeah. I should put my other glove on. These things are like razors, man. I really should. I'll put my other glove on. Now I'm really not going to be able to do anything with the screen until I take this damn glove off. So we're all on our own. Thumb's doing better, by the way. Got to keep protecting it. Now again, this is my premium overwintered feed in my creek, in a creek. Oh, here's a dead one. You know, you get a predator inside of here. There were some crabs in here that were pretty big. I mean, obviously they were just a Chinese buffet for those guys. They were just eating all day long, man. All you can eat Chinese buffet inside of that thing for some of those blue claw crabs. All right, that takes care of that. This is gonna go back in the drink when we get done processing here. Okay, the tag also goes not only on the inside of the bag, but on the outside as well. She's a little lengthy here, but it's got the date and all the pertinent information that we need to know. As well as there's a hard copy inside of my wife's manual that she's got all of that taken care of, inventoried, and knows exactly where everything is and what it is. We are doing it by hand. We are not using the OysterTracker system yet. We've got to get on board with that. It's taking us a little bit of time for that. If you didn't know there was a pandemic and the plague. All right, let me give these a little rinse before I give them let me give them a little bath before I unveil them to you guys, huh? Oh, here, I'll unveil this guy to you. Again, a lot of juvenile, what do oysters do? Juvenile habitat. Look at this cute little guy. Oh, and look at how chubby he is. He looks like he's gonna, looks like a female. Looks like he's gonna, isn't he cute? Looks like it's gonna have a baby. See how chubby it is? All right, we're gonna put him back in the drink. Go, buddy. Do your thing. Healthy looking killie, I'll tell you what. I have a couple of dead ones. I mean, it's to be expected, but you know, you don't want like mass amounts of dead. They look beautiful. Would you guys like to see? Before we tumble them, what's going on? I just picked that weed out. It looked like it was a land-based weed. Obviously, it blew in or something, but or blew into the, who knows, blew into the water and then floated into the cage. But it was definitely like a land-based weed. It was not an aquaculture, an water-based. Anyway, it brings me to a comment that we thought about one time. Is what happens if we put a whole bunch of oysters in there and then we loaded it with like wild onions or garlic, the container, and let the wild garlic and the oysters and the algae and everybody commingle together, where our oysters get like a little garlicness to it? Or, so, you don't like garlic? Maybe we do orange, maybe, who knows, you know, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Would it work? I don't know. Is it voodoo? Maybe. Is it kind of fun to fix, you know? So, yeah, why not? All right, enough of that BS. You guys want to see, don't you? The anticipation is killing you, isn't it? All right, here we go. There you go. Get some shade on these guys, all right? Again, everything for the babies. It's all about the babies, but let's line a couple up. Just randomly take a couple. See where we're at. Notice it. Oh, there's a dead one. No, this one. Somebody's dead. You can hear them actually when they're dead. Ow. Consistency is important. Deep cup important. They look beautiful, don't they? All right, so we should run them through. All right, here we go. First things first, let's turn on our water to make sure that our water is running. Uh-oh, orientation. Is that better? Now we got water running through. Now, something tells me these are going to be coming out that butt end pretty heavy. We'll find out. All right, I got a bucket on that number 2 hole because we will get some number 2s, I think. We're going to get a good portion of number 3s, and I do believe we are going to get a number 4 hole, maybe. Only because of length, not because of edibility. Edibility. I like the way that's edibility. All right, let's start the generator off here. Off here, start. Make sure everything's clear like we talked about. Sometimes she needs a little help. All right, here we go. I'm doing 2 things at the same time. I'm holding the camera and pushing. All right, there we go. Now, okay. Ready? Uh-oh. Nothing to worry about. Go handheld for a minute or 2. Not a bad idea. There we go. Nothing coming out at the ass end. So they're getting rinsed and washed and tumbled and beat up. The edges are getting all crumbled up. I'll show you what they look like in a minute. And they're falling down on their respective bins. I told you number 1 and number 2. Or excuse me, number 2 and number 3. No number 4. Got a little bit more to go. Pretty cool, right? All right, let's go back on the tripod because I'm going to need 2 hands. I got to make sure that the thing is cleared. We usually do that with a hose. Here we go. Now, obviously, when we got a whole bunch of stuff going on here, it really the boat gets pretty, gooked up, to say the least. All right, there's nothing else inside here. We can turn that down. Oh, there's one. He just doesn't want to come out. Every oyster counts. I'll fish him out. Go. Bastard. Ow, it hurts with that hand. There it goes. All right, I think it's gone. Nope. I gotta get him over to the third hole profile. There we go. Gone. Okay, now I think we're good. You can turn the generator off. We can turn that pump off. Let it drain out. The water that goes through there drains onto the deck, and then it comes right out the hole in the back. So the boat is not sinking when we load it all up. When we just have open hoses on the ground. Now, I said that there wasn't going to... I need my knee pad. I said there wasn't going to be anything on that first hole. Guess what? I lied. Not much. That noise just bugs the crap out of me. When I can have silence, I like silence. All right. They might be dead, but you're going to get the idea of what actually, what size they were when we put them in this. Again, these were raised from 2 millimeter by yours truly. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of proud of these guys, and we got a lot of them. And again, this is just one little separate little piece. We have holes in this. Again, standing water and oysters are a no-no. I've been looking for my coffee. What a glorious day. Tide's coming up. Oh. All right, so we got first hole, second hole and third hole profile, and then we got a couple of stragglers here. Let's see what they look like. Let me jack this up a little bit. There we go. Let me just rinse this down for a minute, all right? It's so much easier to get rid of the stuff when it's wet. Whoops. When it dries on, it is just nasty. And guess what else it does? It kind of smells. Not kinda, it does. So, there were no snails, nothing to save. It's all just, you know what it is? It's shell hash is what it is. Oh, look at that. We did. One hole came out the ass end. one oyster. All right. Good enough for now. I'll put some of that. All right, let's see what we got in terms of the real itty bitty. We're going to release these guys to the wild. They can fend for themselves. Sorry, little guys. This guy missed. We're going to have to let you go. Let's just take a look at what we got. Can you see? Get down here. Okay, that's a live upturned hinge. Dead. Seems to be alive. Dead. Seems to be alive. Alive. Dead. Dead. Predators might have got them. They just don't grow. They just do not grow fast. They're just super slow growers. Now, are these guys going to make the cut for next year, or do I really want to have them on board? I mean, in the big scheme of things, the percentage of what was inside of that bag, this is all I had that was, you know, the runts out of that. And again, in October, this is the size that we loaded them with. In the first part of October, just before the big C. So since October, beginning part of October, to right now, on the surface, in the creek, they're going to here. Now, what did we do? We took all of that rough edge, all of that, we beat all of that off of there. Beautiful stuff. Am I going to commingle this with this one? I guess. I'm going to have to because I don't have any more bags. It's against my better judgment, but but they're pretty close in size, guys. How many are in there? Well, like we talked about before, you can see here, we have some numbers on here. Okay, 136 per liter, 58 per liter. Okay. Oh, there you have it. There you have it, boys and girls. I got some other stuff out there. Those other bags are really, really, really runty. All right, I gotta take this glove off. We're going to load them back into that thing and throw them back in over the edge and tie it across the slip. So that way we get good flow right on through it. Let me turn this around. Does that turn around? Hey, that turned around with the glove on. So I'm going to load it back up, load that stuff back up into there and put it back over the edge and keep it tied up across, not across, just, you know, in the slip. And again, testing the water, see how well it's going to work. I know, I pretty much, I think it's going to work great. You've got all this nice marsh area here where all of that great nutrients are going to come in, and the oysters are going to filter that. They love that kind of stuff, and it's just a good thing. It's just all the way around. It's going to be good. And then we get another, more oysters, filter more water. Period. I can't get this damn thing off. Oh, there we go. All right, I think I've had enough today. I think I've kind of bored you guys enough. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. I really thank you all for letting me share with you my new career. I'm having the time of my life. Let me tell you what. I cannot tell a lie. More fun than a barrel of monkeys. And it would not be possible without the help of Cornell Cooperative and Southampton Town trustees. So with that being said, I want everybody to be cool. I want everybody to be kind. I want everybody to be happy. And of course, in about a little bit, when these things go out into the drink, you're gonna eat me. Listen. They're screaming, eat me, eat me. In a little bit, a couple of months. I love you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. We will see you next week. Mwah. Adios. I can't see the